This 1 Degree Outside video is brought to you by Fiesta Shows.
This holiday season, experience the magic of the celebration of lights. Drive through over a mile of glittering road transformed into a wonderland of color with more than 1 million LED lights in the Merrimack Valley, South Shore, Central Mass, and Maine. Now through January 3rd, save on tickets and enter to win at fiesta.1degreeoutside.com.
Pattern predictions on the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. A look over the next 2 weeks of weather. I'm meteorologist Matt Noyes. And although this is designed to give you the kind of behind-the-scenes look at the meteorology of the 2-week forecast, if all you want's the numbers, you're looking for our app. It's the 1 Degree Outside Weather app, totally free and 5 stars. Search 1 Degree Outside Weather on both the App Store and Google Play. Some of you may be watching this on our stream. We are the first and only streaming weather network for New England. You can find us on your smart TV, online, or on our app. And if you are watching this, we do air it over the week because so many folks really do enjoy seeing this kind of extended outlook. So just keep in mind we're recording this on Monday, November 10th. All right, let's go ahead and get into it here. As we head into the middle chunk of November, we come into the time when normally we would start to see perhaps first flakes around some of central portions of New England, right? And it looks like this week that may happen, even if it's only snow showers. I don't know if it'll be 0.1 inches or greater for all these spots, but you at least remain somewhat on target with seeing some of those first flakes in the forecast for some spots. And we've been covering that in our Insights video, right? So at the 500 millibar pattern level, this is where, it's generally your average temperature of a big column of the atmosphere. Colder air, warmer air, and the warmer colors, right? We play things through. Obviously, we've been in a trough lately, a dip in the jet stream, colder air. Now, at first, you look at this and say, hey, look, we continue to get more incursions of cold and energy coming from Canada. But if I were to give you kind of one theme, and Danielle and I are both very much the same. We're not into hype or sensationalism, right? Sometimes we pay the price for that. We don't get the same number of views and likes as if we post out some sort of 2-foot storm forecast for snow from weeks out. But if I were to make a theme to this, it wouldn't necessarily be a hype sensationalism theme. It would be, if you love winter, you love cold, and you love snow, don't count your chickens yet. Because you remember we've been talking about the cold air that's been forming in Siberia and Alaska. Those were two important building blocks. One thing I see that concerns me a little bit is the blocking you see developing over Greenland. Now, at first you say, wait a minute, a block over Greenland should be a really good thing for us. It keeps the cold coming, right? Yeah, but it's early in the season. And so as we go out, that block lasts a while. That's high pressure. That's warm average air through a column of the atmosphere. Notice the other thing that happens as we get out toward, let's say, the last third of the month. We are in a significantly warmed atmosphere through the average temperature of the column. Now, you can look and say, yeah, but you've got these disturbances that come in. It's digging cold. You still have these great incursions of Canadian cold. And that's true. You'd look at that and say, well, everybody else warms up, but not us. I don't know that I would necessarily put all my eggs in that basket. Look, if it happens that way, you see the surface temperatures. I'm not really stopping at too many spots. I'll stop along the 21st. Oh, coastal storm. Cold side of it, you get snow into southern New England. Okay, that would be one thing, but what if it doesn't go exactly like this? What if the storm track ends up displaced just a little farther to the north and west because we fail to get enough of the cold to build in Canada? Are there indications of that? Yeah, actually, when we can look at some of the European guidance and look for the temperature difference from normal, warmer than normal showing up in red and colder than normal showing up in blue, sure, things look great all the way through about the 20th. And once you get past the 20th, things don't look so great in the Northeast anymore in terms of being cold. You get warmer than normal. Here's what stands out to me. Look at Canada. You've got a huge area of substantially warmer than normal. Now with global warming, we see that all the time near the North Pole. But to have that across a large chunk of Canada goes against what you're looking at to establish your winter pattern, where you should have cold and snow expanding in Canada. You say, well, what about snow? We'll get to that in a second. There is snow there. But I'm going to look at that pattern with you as well. So it's not shocking to look at the forecast high temperatures over the next 2 weeks. And yes, there's the cold that digs in, but there it is relaxing as we get to the end of the 2-week period. Overnight lows, same thing. Moral of this story, if you run a ski area, if you do anything that requires making snow, make hay while the sun shines, so to speak. Make the snow over the next 12 days because you may lose some of it, believe it or not, as we get toward the end of the month and early December if the cold relents a bit. In terms of precipitation, we're getting some of it this week. We've been covering that in the Insights video. Right now, the thought process is most of the precipitation in the next 10 days anyway is across the southern plains down to the Gulf Coast. So we get these disturbances, but not with a ton of precipitation. You get an increased chance we get toward the end of the week, which actually would bring some more upslope snow across some of the mountains along about Thursday. Then Sunday and a Monday, there's another disturbance in here as well. That could even, it's possible you even get some snowflakes into southern New England. But when you see that chance of precipitation rising late in the period, that's because it's an indication the cold is breaking down, the warm is coming back, and it's driving up your chance of showers. I said we'd look at snow, right? So a lot of the snow in the Northeast is happening this week with the upslope snow in the mountains, snow showers that can come into play for the rest of us with the cold burst. But as we go out over the course of the next 10 days, notice where the snow is. Yep, it's in Canada. It's through Hudson Bay. That's fine. But there's also really big holes that show up in here, including over Alaska, right? So this also, although not necessarily as tried and true of an indicator, when you put it together with everything else, I just don't see this yet as being that indication that, we're locked in for what's going to be a really good winter pattern. I see it instead as being a bit of a tenuous sign that perhaps there's some warming we're going to have to get through at the end of the month into early December. So just be aware of that. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. All these pattern predictions. Every week we update it, right? So if I see a change, I'll let you know. But that's kind of where I think things are leaning right now. Membership.onedegreeoutside.com. If you enjoy these videos and want to support the mission, maybe it's a Fuel the Forecast. If you like some extra content, might be one of the other levels. That's how things look for now. Thank you for making us part of your weather routine every single day, sunshine and storms at 1 degree outside.